Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Hey Josh, it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it was great to be speaking to you today, for particularly, as a fan of the books, and I thought the film was a lot of fun. And before I get on to that, I know you guys have just had Thanksgiving, and I hope it was a great one. But I've got to ask what it meant to you to see that float as part of that iconic Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Just an amazing feeling, I would have thought again.
Yeah, it was really cool. And this was a new balloon this year, and I got to walk it. So I got to see it very, very up close. And what was really fun about it was that we sort of went back to basics with this one, and we made it about the cheese touch, which is kind of a very simple concept, is that Greg's trying to touch the cheese. And I think it really worked. It made it feel more timeless than the other balloons. And so it was a privilege to have it fly.
Yeah, well, great way to spread the word about this film. And I know obviously the live action movies, they were very successful at the box office, but I'm curious for you why you think this streaming and obviously animated format maybe almost better suits your books on screens at this point.
Well, definitely you feel like the stories have sprung to life from the pages of the journal. Of course, there's a lot of fidelity between the drawings that Greg does of himself and the 3D animated characters. So you don't have to make that leap as an audience member, but there's also a lot you can do with animation that enhances the comedy and makes it a little bit more ridiculous, which I think suits the tone of the books very well.
Yeah, well, it works perfectly. And I am curious, obviously, compared to those films, you are writing the screenplays for these movies. So would you say these adaptations almost mean more to you in a way, in the fact that you're not handing them off to a studio and a different creative team? You're getting to get hands on it and revisit those books and these characters and obviously bring them to life in a new way.
It does mean a lot to me. I've wanted to be a screenwriter for years, but I wasn't really ready until now. I had to learn a lot. Screenwriting is a whole craft unto itself, and I wasn't ready when those live action movies came out. So I was there on set for four live action films, and in all the writers' meetings and producers' meetings. And so I got to learn a lot drinking in, and hopefully it's paying off now, and I'm putting out good work.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And can't believe it's obviously been 14 years since the Rodrick Rules book was actually released. So to revisit this story so many years later, did you find yourself changing the way you approach this world and even kids, given how much has changed in that time?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I mean, really, these stories are timeless. So the story would have happened just the same way 14 years ago as it did now. But I do think that in writing, in converting and adapting my story for the screen, I have to tell the story in a whole new way. Like when I wrote the book, my priority was humor. So it's joke, joke, joke. I didn't care at all about the story or the character growth or anything like that, the emotional aspect of the story. And now, of course, writing for film, I have to care almost exclusively about that. So it really is the same source material, but it's conveyed in a really different way.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, in terms of the animation style, it is very much in line with what we've seen from the diaries in the book. So what have you really enjoyed most? Obviously, the last film and now this one, to see that come to life on screen and the amazing job that animation team does to, I think, bring your vision to life in this way.
Yeah, the whole process is amazing. It's really the best part of my professional life, to be able to write words and then to have them come to life. Like, for example, I might say in two sentences, Greg, rally rides down the street on a rumble trike or a big wheel. That turns into a whole world. Somebody has to design the characters, the sound, the street, the mailboxes, everything. And then I get to see all of those elements as they kind of cross my desk, and I get to approve of those things. So it's wild to me, just the power of words, of getting to the privilege of getting to write something and then to have people carry out your vision. That's amazing.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And, you've always done such a great job capturing the voices of young people. So, at this point in your career, and obviously as you now embark on this screenwriting side of things, is it second nature to you, or do you still find it a challenge every time you approach these projects to find these characters and these voices?
Yeah, it does feel natural to me, but I do have a bit of a concern. I'm 51 years old now. I'm like, when I'm 61, will I be able to get inside of a kid's head? I'm not really sure. So I'm just trying to ride this wave and hold on to this voice as long as I can.
Yeah, and this franchise, it does have so many fans. So, as we talked about the float, seeing that Thanksgiving float and how amazing it's been to revisit that on a yearly basis. When you have fans come up to you, whether it's the younger viewers or maybe those who are kids when they read them and are now adults, what does it mean to you to see that and the fact they're still following this franchise?
Oh, it's cool and it's super weird. I think I'm just starting to meet young adults who read my books as kids, and now they're entering into their careers. And something I'm really excited about actually is I want to meet that kid that grew up on my books and got into comedy because of it. I want to see how that comes out the other end. What does it look like for a kid to have grown up on my comedy and then to become a comedian or a comic writer? I'm excited about that.
Yeah, amazing. And you've got another 15 books in that main series. So, these movies on Disney Plus, I think they great reception to the first one, a lot of excitement for the second. So are you hoping you get to keep adapting these right the way through, or maybe moving forward, you're going to start picking and choosing different ones?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we want to do every single one. I think we'll probably tell the stories out of order, almost for sure. But I think we aspire to do as many of these as we can. And we're going to do them until somebody tells us to stop.
Oh, amazing. Well, Disney Plus, such a great home for them, and the animated franchise, I think really exciting take on your work. So awesome to speak to you, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time today.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for your great questions.
Awesome. Thank you. Can't wait for people to see this one.
Good. Thank you. Me too.